I met Justin through his Aunt Helen 4 years ago when she showed me his photo at a family gathering. He seemed sweet enough, studying engineering, religious like me, into books and deep conversations. When we started talking, I could tell right away he was different from other guys. He'd never had a serious relationship before, which honestly was kind of refreshing after dealing with players who knew all the right things to say. Justin was genuine, maybe a little too eager, but genuine. From the beginning, he was completely devoted. I'm talking texting me every free moment, remembering every little thing I mentioned, planning these elaborate dates around books I'd mentioned wanting to read. It was sweet, really, even if sometimes it felt a bit much. He trusted me completely, even gave me his passwords to everything, though I never asked and certainly never used them. That level of trust was both touching and, if I'm being honest, a little naive. But that was Justin. Pure intentions, no games, just straightforward love. We fell into this comfortable routine pretty quickly. Study dates, family dinners, long talks about our future together. Everyone loved him. My mom, my sisters, even my friends thought he was perfect husband material. And he was, objectively speaking. Stable, kind, ambitious, shared my faith, the kind of man you marry and build a life with. I knew that from the start, but then came Sarah's wedding last August, and everything got complicated. Justin wasn't invited, it was just for close friends, and honestly, I was looking forward to a night out without having to check in every hour or explain who everyone was. Don't get me wrong, I love Justin, but sometimes a girl needs space to just be herself, you know? That's where I met Marcus. He was tall, confident in this effortless way that Justin never quite managed, and he had this presence that made people notice when he walked into a room. While Justin was the type to ask permission for everything, Marcus just took what he wanted. When he asked me to dance, it wasn't really a question. When he complimented me, it felt dangerous instead of safe. My friends noticed immediately. "He's gorgeous," Sarah whispered during a bathroom break. "And he's been staring at you all night." The other girls were practically pushing me toward him, laughing about how I needed to have some fun and live a little before settling down. They knew about Justin, of course, but they also knew I'd never really experienced that spark. That chemistry that makes you forget everything else. Marcus was persistent in a way that was honestly flattering. He got my number that night and started texting immediately. Not the careful, respectful messages Justin sent, but bold, flirty things that made my heart race. He didn't ask about my relationship status. He just assumed I was available for whatever he had in mind. I should have shut it down immediately. I know that. But there was something intoxicating about being pursued by someone who didn't need my permission for everything, who didn't treat me like I might break if he said the wrong thing. When Marcus suggested we meet for coffee a few days later, I found myself saying yes before I'd really thought it through. Coffee turned into a long walk. The walk turned into dinner. And dinner turned into me following him back to his apartment, where we ended up doing things that definitely weren't in line with the religious boundaries Justin and I had carefully established. The guilt hit me immediately afterward, but so did something else. This rush of excitement I'd never felt before. Marcus didn't want to plan our future or meet my family. He just wanted me in the most basic physical way possible. It was selfish and wrong and absolutely thrilling. I told myself it was just a one-time mistake, something I needed to get out of my system before committing to Justin forever. But Marcus kept texting, kept asking to see me, and I kept finding reasons to say yes. Just one more time, I'd tell myself, just to make sure it was really nothing. My friends were surprisingly supportive when I finally confessed what was happening. "You're only young once," they'd say. "Better to figure this out now than wonder later." They helped me create cover stories for when I needed to see Marcus, and honestly, having their encouragement made it feel less wrong somehow. Like maybe this was just a normal part of growing up, something everyone did before settling down. The physical chemistry with Marcus was unlike anything I'd experienced. Where Justin was gentle and considerate to the point of asking permission for every touch, Marcus was commanding, confident, knew exactly what he wanted and how to get it. It was purely physical. We barely talked about anything meaningful. But that almost made it better. less complicated. I could compartmentalize it completely. Justin was my heart, my future, my security. Marcus was just physical release. By December, we'd been seeing each other for months, and I'd gotten careless. My mom found some messages on my phone when I left it out during a family dinner, and suddenly all my sisters knew everything. They were horrified, of course, talking about reputation and family honor and what would happen if word got out in our community. You have to choose, my mom said during an intervention that felt more like an attack. This behavior is unacceptable. Either end it with this Marcus person or call off things with Justin, but you cannot continue both. But that's exactly what I didn't want to do. Choose. Why should I have to give up either one? Justin fulfilled certain needs, Marcus fulfilled others. As long as I was discreet and Justin never found out, where was the real harm? I wasn't hurting anyone. I'm not ready to choose, I told them. And honestly, you're all being hypocritical. You've been pushing me toward marriage with Justin since we started dating, talking about how I need to settle down and start a family. Well, maybe I need to make sure I'm really ready for that kind of commitment. They didn't like that answer, but what could they do? Ground me? I was a grown woman making my own decisions, even if they didn't approve. Despite all the family drama, Justin proposed in January, just like we'd always planned. The engagement party was beautiful. Both families so happy, everyone talking about what a perfect match we were, how lucky I was to find someone so devoted. Justin was practically glowing with happiness, talking about wedding dates and honeymoon plans and the apartment we'd get together. I said yes, obviously. I did love Justin, and I did want the future he was offering. The thing with Marcus wasn't going to last forever anyway. He didn't even have a steady job, and it's not like he was husband material. But I also wasn't ready to give up that excitement just yet. I figured I'd end things with Marcus after the wedding, once I was settled into married life and had other things to focus on. My friends thought I was brilliant for managing both relationships. You're getting the best of both worlds, they'd say. Security with Justin, excitement with Marcus. Just be careful, and everything will work out fine. And for months, it did work out fine. I'd spend evenings with Justin planning our wedding, talking about our future, being the perfect fiancé. Then I'd see Marcus a few times a week for completely different needs. I was careful about communication, deleted WhatsApp conversations with Marcus immediately, used Telegram for anything I needed to keep, saved his number under a girl's name just in case. Justin never suspected anything. Why would he? He trusted me completely, never checked my phone despite knowing all my passwords, never questioned where I was or who I was with. His innocence was both endearing and convenient. The system worked perfectly until that concert in July. We were having such a nice time. Justin had surprised me with tickets to see this band I'd mentioned liking months ago. He was being so sweet, buying me drinks, holding my hand, talking about how excited he was that we'd be married soon. I was actually feeling guilty about the whole Marcus situation, thinking maybe it really was time to end things and focus on my future husband. Then Marcus texted. The message popped up on my phone screen just as Justin was leaning over to say something, and I watched his face change as he read it. The contact name said Michelle, but the message was definitely not from any Michelle. It was explicit and referenced our plans for later that week. "Who's Michelle?" Justin asked, and his voice was different. Calmer than usual, but not in a good way. "Just a friend from work," I said quickly, but I could see he wasn't buying it. The way he was looking at me, like he was seeing me clearly for the first time, made my stomach drop. He didn't say anything else about it that night, but I knew he was thinking. Justin might be trusting, but he wasn't stupid. Over the next day and a half, I watched him become more distant, more observant. He was planning something. The confrontation came Monday evening after dinner. We were sitting in his car outside my house, and instead of the usual goodnight kiss, he turned to face me with this serious expression I'd never seen before. "I need to ask you about someone," he said. "About Marcus." The way he said the name, not Michelle but Marcus, told me everything. He knew. Somehow he'd figured it out, and now I was trapped. "I don't know what you mean," I tried, but he just shook his head. "I've spent the last day reading about situations like this," he said. "I know what questions to ask, and I know what the truth looks like. So I'm going to ask you directly. Have you been having an affair with Marcus? The silence stretched between us while I tried to figure out how to handle this. Deny everything? Partially confess? Break down crying? Nothing felt like it would work with the way he was looking at me. Like he already knew the answer and was just giving me a chance to be honest. Love, I love you more than anything, I finally said, and the tears came naturally. You have to know that. But he wasn't accepting that deflection. That's not what I asked. Have you been having an affair with Marcus? It's not what you think, I said. It's purely physical. It doesn't mean anything. It's just this thrill, this excitement that I needed to get out of my system. I don't like him the way I love you. Justin's face went completely still. How long? It started at Sarah's wedding, but Justin, everything with him meant nothing. You're the one I want to marry. You're my future. This thing with Marcus it's just physical needs. 11 months, he said quietly. You've been having an affair for 11 months. Through our engagement, while we've been planning our wedding. When he put it like that, it sounded worse than it was. I was going to end it after we got married, I said desperately. Once we were together and I had those physical boundaries of marriage, I wouldn't have done anything like this. Who else knows? This was the question I'd been dreading. My mom and sisters found out in December. They told me to choose, but I wasn't ready to choose. I love you, Justin, but I also needed to be sure I was ready for marriage. So your entire family has known for months that you were cheating on me, and everyone decided I didn't deserve to know. My dad doesn't know, I said quickly. Just the women in my family. And they weren't happy about it. They wanted me to stop. But you didn't stop. Even after they confronted you, even after we got engaged, you kept seeing him. He was persistent, I said. He kept pursuing me, and I just couldn't resist. But if I could go back in time, I wouldn't have done any of that. I would choose you from the beginning. Justin was quiet for a long time, and I could see him processing everything I'd told him. Finally, he looked at me with this expression that was somehow worse than anger. It was disappointment. I'm not sure about us anymore, he said. That's when the real panic set in. What do you mean? Justin, we can work through this. It meant nothing. It was just a mistake. Just me being stupid before settling down. We're engaged, we have a future planned. But he was already shaking his head. I need to think about this. I need to talk to Aunt Helen. No, please don't involve her. This is between us. We can handle this ourselves. Olivia, you involved your entire family except your father. You involved your friends. You involved everyone except me. So no, this isn't just between us anymore. He drove me home in complete silence, and I knew from the set of his shoulders that I was losing him. This wasn't the gentle, accommodating Justin I was used to. This was someone I'd never seen before, someone with actual boundaries. I barely slept that night, and the next morning, Justin called to say both families needed to meet. My stomach dropped, because I knew what that meant. He'd told Aunt Helen everything, and now the whole thing was going to explode. The family meeting was every bit as awful as I'd expected. My father, who'd been completely in the dark about everything, broke down crying when he heard what I'd done. Aunt Helen was coldly furious, talking about trust and commitment and how disappointed she was in me. My mom and sisters looked ashamed, and Justin just sat there looking like a stranger. This engagement is over, Justin said quietly. I can't marry someone who's been lying to me for almost our entire relationship. But we can work through this, I pleaded. Couples recover from affairs all the time. I'll end things with Marcus completely. I'll do whatever you need me to do. You should have ended things with Marcus before they started, Aunt Helen said sharply. You made your choice every day for 11 months. You chose him over Justin every single time. The worst part was that I could see Justin was hurt, but he was also relieved. Like part of him was actually glad to have a reason to end things, which made no sense given how devoted he'd always been. We agreed to tell people that we'd realized we weren't on the same page about our future. A face-saving lie that protected both families' reputations. In our community, a broken engagement due to incompatibility was much more acceptable than one due to infidelity. Justin blocked me on everything immediately and made it clear there would be no contact between us going forward. He was done, completely and finally done, in a way that shocked me. I'd expected anger, fighting, maybe even a period of separation while we worked things out. I hadn't expected him to just walk away. Marcus, meanwhile, disappeared the moment he realized Justin knew about us. Suddenly, he didn't want to deal with drama and stopped returning my calls. So I lost both of them, the security and the excitement, and ended up nothing. My father still barely speaks to me months later. My friends have moved on to other drama. The community accepted our story about being incompatible, but I can see the questions in people's eyes when they look at me. Why would someone break up with Justin? What really happened there? Justin, from what I hear, is doing fine. Focusing on work, spending time with friends, apparently not devastated the way I thought he'd be. Which honestly hurts more than if he'd been falling apart without me. It's like our 4 years together, our engagement, our entire future just didn't matter that much to him after all. I keep thinking about what I could have done differently, but the truth is, I'm not sure I would change anything. I needed to know what that kind of passion felt like before committing to marriage forever. Maybe the timing was wrong. Maybe I should have been more honest, but the feelings were real. The connection with Marcus was real, even if it didn't last. Everyone acts like I'm this terrible person now, but they don't understand the pressure I was under. 4 years with someone who never challenged me, never surprised me, never made my heart race the way Marcus did. I was supposed to just accept that and be grateful? I was supposed to marry Justin without ever knowing what I might be missing? I made mistakes, obviously. I should have been more careful, should have ended one relationship before starting the other. But I was trying to figure out what I really wanted, and sometimes that process is messy. Sometimes you have to make difficult choices, and sometimes you hurt people you care about. The hardest part is that I did love Justin. I still do, in a way. He was good to me, and he deserved better than what I gave him. But I also deserved to feel that spark, that excitement, that feeling of being truly wanted, instead of just loved out of habit. Now I'm alone, trying to figure out who I am without either of them. My family barely trusts me, my friends have moved on, and the future I'd planned is completely gone. Everyone keeps saying I brought this on myself, that I made my choices, and now I have to live with the consequences. Maybe they're right. Maybe I did ruin everything good in my life for something that was never going to last. But at least I know what it feels like to be truly desired, to have someone pursue me like Marcus did. At least I experienced that kind of passion once, even if it cost me everything else. I just wish everyone would stop acting like I'm some kind of monster for wanting more than what I had. I wish they could understand that sometimes love isn't enough. That sometimes you need excitement and challenge and the feeling that you're truly alive. I wish Justin could have given me what Marcus did, or that Marcus could have given me what Justin did. But mostly, I wish I could go back to that night at the concert and make sure my phone was face down, so none of this would have happened. Not because I regret the affair, but because I regret getting caught. I regret having to choose when I never wanted to choose at all.